Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jack and welcome back to another video. So earlier, not too long ago, after I got home after running a few errands or whatnot, I come home and one of the people that I'm subscribed to, which is Cole, also known as Proximity. Now, most of you guys probably wouldn't have heard of him because this is mainly a COD channel, but he's mainly a Halo channel. But he's a tremendously good player, good content creator and streamer. And he made a video talking about advanced movement and whether or not advanced movement belongs in Halo. And the way he described and the choice of words that he chose to describe his views on things really kind of inspired me in a sense to talk about this on my channel. I've always wanted to, but it's something that I've always kind of touched up on over the years, a couple other times while making videos. But in terms of the way he worded it, it really kind of just expanded my thoughts about it. And at the same time, I really want to know whether or not you guys believe that advanced movement has a place in Call of Duty. Now, one of the things that I truly believe, now I know that not everybody is going to agree with me on this, whether you're a casual player or whether you're a good player yourself, I know that not everybody is going to see eye to eye with what I'm about to say, and our opinions may not match, but at the same time, that's another reason why I made this video, to hear your feedback and your viewpoints as well. So, the thing is, with advanced movement, with Call of Duty, like with this game here, with Infinite Warfare, I honestly think there was a missed opportunity with the movement, because if you look at the advanced movement in Advanced Warfare and then the advanced movement in Black Ops 3, they're very different in terms of how they feel and how you can put them together and the amount of verticality and all the different kind of stuff that go into it. They're both similar in a sense that they're both advanced movement, but they're very different in terms of how they feel and how you can combine things together and all that kind of stuff. So, and how it's executed as well as how it feels and what you can and cannot do. With Infinite Warfare, I feel like Infinity Ward really kind of had the opportunity to make their own kind of advanced movement, but I guess for one reason or another, maybe it was because of Activision, they decided to play it safe, or maybe, who knows, maybe they just didn't know what to do, and they just said, you know what, we're just going to copy and paste Black Ops 3, make it a little bit smoother, touch it up a little bit more, or maybe increase the speed a little bit, and just have our own Infinity Ward touch on it, and wham bam, there you go. So, to talk about this more in depth, about whether or not I believe, in my point of view, that if advanced movement has a place in COD, I truly believe it does. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be exactly like it was in Infinite Warfare or Black Ops 3 or Advanced Warfare. It could be any form. It could take any form. Like, for instance, with Infinite Warfare, what they could have done was they could have done something in between. They could have... One of the reasons why Black Ops 3 was praised upon is simply because of the fact that, well, they dialed it down from what Advanced Warfare did in terms of like how crazy fast you can be vertical and what you can and cannot do. They added in the wall running. They made the advanced movement in terms of ground to air. They made that slower. So when you put everything together, and as well as the maps and how everything worked, the player base really appreciated the fact that if you wanted to, you could play it boots on the ground and still be successful. And the advanced movement itself could actually just be an option, right? Granted, you wanted it, or let's say you needed it in certain cases, right? It was always an option for you to take. So I think that that's what the problem is with the vast majority of the community, or a certain percentage of the community that does not like advanced movement or that prefers boots on the ground, is that, in fact, that in some way, shape, or form, it's overdone. Now, I think if you add in one aspect of advanced movement or two into the game, I think it'll actually add flavor to it, because here's the thing. Advanced movement allows for, for creativity and finesse, so to speak. It's the word that I kind of like to put into it. It gives players an option to combat a different play style, and at the same time, finesse. It makes gunfights that much more interesting. And at the same time, the person that is usually, unless they're cheating or exploiting or whatever the hell it is, usually the person that ends up being able to do more things at once in a very accurate way with correct decision making all put in together should end up being the one on top. So it makes advanced movement a lot more interesting, and it makes gunfights that much more interesting and fun, and it gives you a reason to move around. For those of you that are brand new here, you guys may or may not know by now that I am a fan of advanced movement because of the second word, movement. I really like for instance, like take a game like Doom, right? 2016 Doom. the multiplayer in that game was terrific, and for me personally, I'd still be playing it to this day if there was like a couple little changes here and there, or if it was a little bit more popular. But honestly, Doom was terrific, simply because of the fact that it was very fast-paced, and the pacing of how you can... there was no advanced jumping or floating or anything like that, not like you see here in Call of Duty. But the pacing of the game and the fact that you are able to jump and move left and right really, really fast, and the overall pacing and how it was basically impossible to camp in that game. And it really just... It was basically movement against movement, your tricky movements against the opponent's tricky movements, while simultaneously staying on target better than he or she is, and then that allowing you to take them out. So I am a person that loves imagination. I know some people are not as big of a fan of it as some others, but I love imagination, and for me, the advanced movement kind of allows your imagination to become reality in a sense, and within limits, of course. An unlimited advanced movement game would simply be maybe too chaotic. That's also debatable. But I think with an element of advanced movement, now again, it doesn't have to be crazy like it has been previously, or it doesn't have to be a cut and paste of it, what it has been previously or recently. But I'm just saying, like, a form of advanced movement or something that just encourages movement, whether it's a little bit of a dash to the side or whatever, or whether it's the ability to combine certain movements like your slide into a dash, into maybe like a front roll on the ground, or a back roll, depending on your momentum or something like that. Just something basic like that. I mean, you don't have to be flying in the air, but something like that, I think, is something that will only add flavor to the game and therefore make the game that much better. And the thing is, in my opinion, now there's nothing wrong with the boots on the ground Call of Duty. My favorite Call of Duty of all time, Black Ops 2, is a boots on the ground Call of Duty. There's no advanced movement in that game whatsoever. However, with that being said, with the way, like, you can't go too far back from what we've been given already with Call of Duty. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, according to the community and according to opinions and popularity and all that kind of stuff, advanced movement is something that we have done in Call of Duty. And I, for one, am in favor of it for reasons that I've already explained. And for those of you guys that have been here a while, you guys pretty much know all the reasons as to why I'm in favor of it. But the thing is, right now, in terms of the pacing with Call of Duty, as well as what Cole mentioned previously, with him being a hardcore Halo player like I am in Call of Duty and everything like that, like when he goes back and he plays Halo 5, he says that whenever he goes back and plays the old Halo games now, like they just feel kind of a little too slow, a little stale or whatnot. I mean, they're traditional Halo, they have their merits, but at the same time, it doesn't have the same exact fun factor and the same exact opening for imagination. And I'm paraphrasing here when I say this, by the way, that let's say Halo 5 did with its advanced movement, what you can do with it. Could you still play traditional Halo with Halo 5? Yes, you could, but the advanced movement was something that the only thing that I could agree on with other players that are not for advanced movement is that they don't like to be forced for it to become a necessity, which I understand. Just like I am not a fan of camping to be a necessity, kind of like with Modern Warfare, which is why I don't enjoy it, which is why I don't play it, because you're forced. So I could understand the other side of the spectrum when they basically say, hey, I'm not for advanced movement because you're basically forced to use it, or you're forced to basically, you know what I mean? I totally understand that. So I'm a person that tries to see both sides of the fence. So with all that being said, and everything that I said in this commentary, which was kind of a little bit all over the place, but I think it's put together decently enough to where everybody can understand what I'm saying. Do you guys believe that advanced movement has a place in Call of Duty? And if so, what kind? Like, do you guys, first of all, which of the advanced movement iterations that we've already been presented with in Call of Duty did you prefer? Was it Advanced Warfare? Was it Infinite Warfare or Black Ops 3? Or if you had your way of creating the ultimate balanced advanced movement system, or adding in some element of movement into a boots on the ground Call of Duty to give it some spice and to give players options, but not necessarily limit it to a fact to where, hey, you have to use this or you're no good. What would it be like? And let everything be known down in the comments section. Obviously, the theme here seems to be imagination. So let all your imaginations with logic, of course, and respect, be known down in the comment section. I'm really interested in terms of what you guys have to say, because everybody that has been watching my channel, I've noticed that some of you guys are tremendously good players and a lot of you guys are very casual players. So I'm really interested to seeing what everybody has to say for those that want to comment. But anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. If you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.